Hi, and welcome to Step In Mom podcast. My name is Veronica Durham. I'm a relationship coach, and I mainly work with co-parents and step-parents. But this show is like a real hybrid between, step-parenting, co-parenting, motherhood, relationships, and all the madness that it comes with. So today I'm recording in a bit, funny conditions. So I really hope the recording is gonna go well and the sound is gonna be good as well. So finger crossed, and please be patient just in case there's some cringe as we go or as I go. This episode is about breaking up with a friend, and it's been an episode that I've been postponing for really long time, and I've been thinking about this episode for even longer because I believe that a lot of people are staying not just in a relationship but in a friendships that they are not great for them, or there is something that it's just not working and it's not serving people. But we do stay in the friendships like that, sometimes even for longer than in relationships that are not good for us. And, just stay with me here and I will go through everything, what I have to say, because I've been on both sides. I've been the one who broke up with a friend, and I've been the one, who just lost a friend or few. And I don't think there is an easier position, it's like they both are quite hard to be at. So there's not really a real winner in breaking up with a friend. And so why do we end the friendships? I was just looking back, and if I think about high school, or, like when we were like, what, 10 or 15, or I don't know. It's just, I feel like it started like once the puberty hit, like I always had a friend, and then suddenly you go to school and the friend, your best friend, is not your friend anymore. And you're just thinking, what happened overnight? Like, seriously, what's going on? And I don't think guys have this. Like, if I ask my husband, and I did ask him about, breaking up with friend, he was looking at me like, what are you talking about? I was like, you never broke up with your friend? And he's just like, what? So I think this is a really, now without, meaning anything wrong, but this is like a really girly thing, these breakups or suddenly not being friends with someone you've been friends for ages. So yeah, I think this is like women world more than guys. But prove me wrong. If you think I'm wrong, please do so. Leave a comment or get in touch, because I want to know. Because whoever I ask, and the guys, they were just like, what? No, really. It was just like, I don't care. So I would like to know. Guys, if you're watching or listening, let me know. And yes, so why do we break up with friends? There are so many reasons. Like one of them, like you are in a new relationship and suddenly some friends are just like not there anymore. Or, it's because, oh, I love him, I fancy him, and then he took him over, whatever. The relationships can end the friendships. Job or career or businesses can end the friendships. Stupid arguments, oh, the all good one, you have changed. And I will come back to this one. Or moving countries, you got a new friend in your friends group, and suddenly either you are the one who is less popular, or you're the one who just become friend with a new friend more than the other one, and just you kind of break up with the friend, or you change the friendship. It could be over trauma, illness, or grief, or combination of these. It can be motherhood, it can be divorce, it can be, getting married. It can be, anything can change the friendship, or damage it, or in a way, I probably like damage a friendship, and that it just goes and crumbles. But when I realized there is something going on with me in the friendship, or when I realized it's like, okay, this is not working anymore. What I noticed is that I wasn't honest with myself and with the friend. you know I was not speaking my mind. I wasn't like fully self-expressed or just self-expressed because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to come across I'm judging my friend. There was obviously not wanting to hurt my friend and not wanting to be hurt back. There was definitely a sense of shame that I didn't, always was honest, or there were things that I'm kind of like, I'm not quite sure if I can share it with them, or yeah, it's for some things you just don't want to say because you feel ashamed of. It can be, there's definitely part of that didn't break up my friendship, but impacted my friendships. When I started my business and everyone was going, how are you doing? How is everything? And I was quite ashamed that I wasn't doing so well, or I wasn't just like, if I tell them that I don't have any client yet, or I'm really struggling, financially or mentally, they were like, so this kind of like shame that I don't know why that it was there, but it was, and that's okay. I did feel shameful or ashamed of something. Another thing when I realized the friendship is not working anymore, when I said like not speaking of my mind, but like even speaking up, So when something is going on in the friendship, or there's a situation, and you should speak up, you should be standing for yourself or someone else, or just said something to the friend who is just like this, like she needs to hear this, or I really want to hear, her to know that. But when I don't speak up, for the reason that I know it will lead to a pointless and never-ending conversation. You know what conversations I'm talking about, right? The one which is just like you're gonna be there for 2 hours, you will never figure it out or sort it out, or kind of end this problem or issue. You just will go in a circles and you just will listen to pointless conversation when in your brain it would be like, why I'm even having this conversation? I'm so tired of this. I heard this story or this thing so many times, and there's as much we can do to support our friends, or listen to, even if my husband goes and just goes and on and on and on about something, I just like, hey, listen, like this is a thing we've been talking about for so long. Okay, let's figure it out. Let's sort it out. And he's saying with me, sometimes I just want to tell him like, oh, I just want to complain. Just don't fix anything. Don't think. I just want verbal vomit. I'm good. But when this is like, there's nothing you can do or nothing you can say to help or support, and you don't speak up because it will just lead to never-ending conversations. That's one of the kind of like issues for me in a friendship. And this is not like, I'm not talking about, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Another thing, like when I know that friendship is not working, is when you feel ignored. And when you start talking about something, what you're going through, and the friend suddenly like change it, they just twist it and they make it about themselves. And I'm really careful with what I'm saying. For example, with my friend, like mom's friends and friends, and when she is telling me something about her daughter or about the motherhood, I'm trying really hard, like, because it's so easy to say, oh my God, I know what you're going through. He did exactly the same thing yesterday. And then like, I can really easily go there. And I was like, no, hold on. Just don't make it about yourself, just give some time, and then don't make it about yourself, but give advice or give support you really want to say. But try not to make it about yourself, Erica, for just a little bit longer. Even though if you mean it really, really well and you're trying not to make it about yourself, you're just saying, like, I had this experience. Maybe this is what is going on with your baby. That's okay, but just don't make it about, not making it about myself. But feeling ignored in a friendship is really, really hard because, if the friend is making the whole friendship about herself or himself, it is hard just being ignored. It's you need, the friendship needs to work both ways. And I was talking about that relationship is not 50-50, or marriage is not 50-50 in one of my podcasts. And the same with friendship. Friendship is not 50-50. It's more than that. Sometimes you do need to give the 100% to your friend, but sometimes your friend needs to give you the 100% or 80% or whatever you need require. And this is hard if you don't get it, if you're the one who's giving all the time and not getting anything back. Another problem in a friendship is like not being taken seriously. So again, when you have a problem, when you're going through something else and they go, oh, but that's nothing compared to what I am going through. Oh, is it nothing? Look at me. Oh, look at the other people. Look at that. And, and I've been talking about it a lot in my podcast recently. It's like, I really don't care sometimes about other people, because if I'm dealing with a problem or some issue or whatever I'm dealing with, I need to focus on myself, and I need to process these feelings. And if someone will tell me, well, look at me, what I'm going through, I was like, I know what you are going through. I know I'm your friend. But this is not about you. I'm not comparing my problems to your problems, because your problems are your problems. And only you can fully experience your problems, because I am looking at your problems differently. And this is sometimes really, really helpful, but it's sometimes really, really bad. Because, yeah, I need to process my emotions. I need to process that the way I need and want. And this is not about no wanting any help, or not refusing help and support. This is just like not being taken seriously. And yeah, that's quite hurtful when you don't get that in a relationship or friendship. Another thing is when you are in a friendship, when you feel obligated, that your friend, like, oh, all these good years we had together, or she did this and that for me when I was this and that. It always reminds me, Sex and the City, of course, when Samantha was breaking up with her boyfriend and she didn't want to because he went through her cancer and chemo and everything with her. And she's like, well, but he did so much for me. It's not fair to break up with him. And we do it in the friendships as well, not just relationships. Because friendships are like, oh, we had so many good years together. She was, here for me whenever I needed. But if something changes in the friendship or with you, and you know that the friendship is not anymore the friendship you had, or it's not a friendship at all, feeling obligated is just built on guilt. And obviously that's not good, is it? Like, you can't be friend just because you're feeling guilty. That's just, when you say it this way, it just sounds so wrong, really, really wrong. And obviously there are so many other things that when you realize, okay, this friendship is just not anymore that good. And please do leave a comment or let me know what would be your other things, because one of the things, like, you changed, and of course we're changing, we keep changing, we should be changing, because we should be growing, we should be transforming our lives. We work with, we deal with so many issues, so many traumas, so many painful stuff every day. And it is important to change and grow. I even say, like, when someone, oh, you changed, I was like, no, I'm growing in, and my life's is changing, so of course I am changing. I become a mother, before I become a stepmom, of course it changed me, because these things change people. And you don't need to even become a mom or stepmom to change, So for people, changing is a good thing. I think it's a good thing if you're changing, the good direction, not the bad direction. So if you're changing in a good way for yourself, well done, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. Absolutely not. You're becoming someone better, bigger, more yourself, or whatever it's happening for you. And your friends should never stop you from that. They should support you. They should be your biggest cheerleaders. And if that friend is not that, I'm not saying you have to break up, but you have options. You can try to save the friendship, break up, or just change the conversation. Just change the friendship, the way that it suits you. But yeah, like trying to save the friendship, it's like I really, like in the past, I really had to think about, is this friendship serving me, and vice versa? Am I a good friend in this friendship? And I must say, like, no, there were the friendships which I ended, or they ended, like the friendship just ended at some point. And just looking back, like, no, I wasn't the best friend in that friendship. I wasn't giving, I wasn't there fully, or I just wasn't there the way my friend needed it, or the way I should be there, like myself. So, yeah, ask yourself, is this friendship serving me or not? Am I serving my friend or not? Is there any point of even trying to save this friendship? Because like, if you know, and everyone has been telling you, you shouldn't be seeing this person, or this is not a good friend for you, just maybe listen to these people, to friends. If they mean well, they're probably right. There's something in it. So yeah, just think about, is there any point, even any point, saving this friendship? And is this friendship more important than, fill the gap? Is this friendship more important than my mental health? Is this friendship more important than my family and people I love? Is this friendship more important than my work, my business, my career? If your friends doesn't support you in some of these areas of your life that are really, really important for you, and you're really working hard in that area to transform it, to make it better, or or fix it, even I don't think like fixing something is the right word, but you know what I mean. It's like, is the friendship really more important? And again, you don't need to break up with a friend. You can just transform the friendship the way that will work for you better. And now coming up to the breakup. And it's really hard. I feel like breaking up with a friend can be worse than breaking up with a partner, because it's the way partly how society is. So we do work, we talk, we can talk years, months, hours about breaking up with someone, with a partner, I mean. But when we're breaking up with friends, it can get really awkward or really weird very quickly. Because especially if the friend is part of the group, or some kind of like everybody knows them, or they met them at the same time, and then suddenly like, yeah, we don't really talk anymore. And it comes with so much weirdness. And sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I'm not surprised. And sometimes people are like, oh really? Oh, that's a shame. But you've been friends for so long. And then really it can kick, and the guilt can kick in, and just feeling weird about sharing this. So I think breaking up with a friend, or being the one, who's broke up with, it's tough. I think it's sometimes not, I'm not want to compare, like breakups are hard enough. But I was talking to one lady on Instagram, and she said like, yes, absolutely, people don't talk about it enough. And then when you talk about it, everyone's like, what? You broke up with your friend? And they're just like, yeah, it's just awkward. So that's the one issue, is like why breaking up with a friend is hard. And it's how I said before, you don't need to always break up. You can really just like, okay, I will, limit the conversations, or I will just share whatever I am comfortable sharing with that person, and I will not share everything. which I mean is not a good sign, is it, for a friendship? But yeah, it's maybe it's you don't need to be the best friends anymore, but you can still be friends. Uh, but it is not the right way how to end a friendship. I think it's just how can you break, like, it's like in a relationship, like how are you gonna break up? You plan it in your head, and then it's never happened exactly the way you want it. But because you can't control other people's emotions and actions, so it's like, let's see. But it can end with like argument. It can end it like just ghosting someone, which is not the best thing, but it's possible. Or it's like, yeah, if that is what you want to do, just do it. Yeah, just ghost it. Uh, Letting slowly die the friendship, which is which can be really painful, by the way. It's like being with, if you're in a relationship, it's just like, I should break up with him, but I don't want to. And you're just postponing the breakup, and then months and years go on, and you're just like, ugh. And then you break up. It's like, why was I waiting for so long? So, letting it slowly die, it's really painful, but I think that's like most of us is doing this option, knowingly, because yeah, it's just painful to be in that space when you are having conversation with someone who's like don't want to really talk, or listen to someone who's not supporting you the way you needed to be support. And I believe you should talking about like, how do I want to be supported, like when someone is giving you tips and you just like, I just don't want to hear this, really. I don't want to hear that advice because it's BS, or it's not working for me, or you two fa la la, or you two, you're dominating me right now with your advice, or so just kind of, yeah, letting it slowly die. It could be a thing, but I would rather just, looking back, I would rather break up straight away with a friend than doing the slowly letting their friendship die. Um, and if you're thinking, I'm very pleased, this is not a podcast. Okay, let's break up with everyone right now. But if you feel like you want to end some friendship or connections with some people, do whatever feels okay with you. If that means unfollowing them, if that means blocking them on a social media or limiting them on a social media. The social media now are doing great options for us, so we don't need to necessarily unfriend or break up. There are options on, I think, each platform on how to kind of limit that kind of connection with the person, so they don't know, but we know. It kind of, it's iffy, but if it works and it makes you feel better, do it. And another thing about breakup, and this is like, I was getting ready for this podcast, and I was doing my hair or something, and I kept running to my notes and making more notes, and it just something popped in my head. I nearly had laughed about this because it's so silly, but we just do it all the time, and not just with friends. It could be with colleagues. It could be with exes as well. And like we could run into someone, and don't face the person, or don't say, okay, things like, okay, let's work on that. Let's work on the friendship, or yeah, let's stay in touch. If you don't mean it, if you saying it out of guilt, and it makes you uncomfortable, or just the idea of doing it makes you like, oh no, I don't want to date again. I broke up with this person for reasons. I had my reasons. I did it. It was painful, but I've done it. Now we bump into each other on the street, and I would go, oh yeah, let's do it. I was like, no, don't do it. It just, because you will be the one who will go through that crap all over again. So just say whatever you feel. I don't know, take responsibility for breaking up with the friend, or saying whatever feels okay, just like good luck, have a good life, I wish you all the best. But which is like sometimes sounds so bad. It sounds so horrible. And of course, we rather would say, okay, let's stay in touch. Then I wish you all the best. Uh, but you don't say it. If you say out of guilt, don't say it. Just try not to do it because then you do it all over again. How I said before. And the last point I would like to talk is about looking for closure. And my plan, I really want to do an episode just on this quite soon, because I keep hearing people talk, I want a closure. My clients, many of my clients, I need a closure. I want that. And I feel like, I wanted it in the past as well. But then I realized that, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's sometimes you will never ever get closure because either the person died or died a really long time ago and you have you don't have the chance. You don't know how to reach the person, or the person is not willing to see you or meet you. And so this is the obvious problem with it not getting closure. But another thing is like sometimes we craving the closure, but once we get it, like, have you ever experienced that? You were looking for closure, then you got it, and you're like, seriously? Is that it? This is not what I wanted. This is not what I want to hear. And that person is not telling you anything else. They give you the closure you were looking for, you want to hear, but they're not giving you anything close to what you wanted to hear. Or they are not willing to give you the closure at all. Or they're just like, oh, come on, don't be silly, it's okay. And you're like, what? No, I was looking for closure and you're giving me, oh, that's okay, don't worry about that. So keep looking for the closure is like, no, you need to stop chasing this dream, because it can be really painful waiting for something that either never comes or will disappoint you or will make you even more upset. And this is not about ignoring your emotions or how do you process this whole closure thing, but it's more about, okay, it's not about what the other person can say whatever, and you will still not, probably you will still not get a closure because there is still going to be some upset or making wrong or blaming the person. So it's really taking back to yourself and work on yourself. And I promise I will do the podcast on this, how to kind of get closure without getting closure. Yeah, or how you can give up closure because you don't always need them, in your life. And it is about focusing on yourself and thinking, okay, what do I need to hear? Do I really need to hear anything? Or do I want to be heard? Will the person ever listen to me? Can I do the closure with someone else, and have like pretend play and get what I need to say or need to hear? Or like, do I really need the closure, or do I just need to just move on, process the whole pain and just move on? So yeah, you may never ever get explanation from people what happened. So don't try to wait for it, or don't get, kind of fixed on that idea of getting closure from friends. Either you broke up or you will have to give the closure. At the same time, like if someone is requiring that, or once it's like, yeah, okay, let's talk, but be standing for yourself and be honest with yourself and with your ex-friend. Don't pretend anything, because if you are pretending in the friendships, don't pretend now when you are not in the friendship. Okay, this is me and breaking up with friends. Please do let me know in the comments, or let me know if you ever was, you were ever in the position of breaking up with a friend or on the other end of this breakup. And please do subscribe, comment, like, whatever you can do, and wish you lots of love, and see you or talk to you soon.